All right, how's it going, folks? Now, I did make a video, my previous videos talking about um, just pretty much a follow up on this video. The previous videos talking about why Chinese, as a person we brought up, we cannot communicate those or uneducated or backwards countries who are forced to not to talk to or communicate. It was a social norm to not dislike or anything as peers, friends. Pretty much what I'm trying to tell you is choose, pick your own kind. Pick someone above and beyond. Don't choose someone below. But anyway, all right. The topic of today is One Belt and One Silk Road, which can be acronym of be BRIC, Belt Road Initiative, and I don't know what's. I don't think they have the C. I think it's BRI. Okay, all versus the foreign aid, right? Foreign donation. So this Belt Road, Silk Road, it's been happening probably dramatically when President Xi, China, President Xi Jinping, who has brought this traditional historical trade route into modern world. Then you're asking me, well, we already have actual ships and planes and trains trading. We have this globalization, right? We have the industrial revolution, we have this technological, and we have this agriculture, we have this hunter-gatherer society, we have this globalization, we're trading everything. But why are we doing this one belt on the Silk Road? Why? What is going on? Well, first things first is make it a lot more effective, efficient, time costly on trading, right? But those who doesn't know, China did a pretty good job when it comes to this globalization and entering the what is it? Is it world trade or the world market? They advantage a lot this time. They brought all the best stuff around the world, all the goods, where the meat, poultry, to raw material, to steels, and benefit and made money around the world. It's a win-win cooperation. They're taking a lot further on boosting more. And you're asking yourself, is this any better? Well, let's just say what is foreign aid? So I just list this country on top of here, right? These countries are former colonized and being fought their independency, right? I didn't write more countries. I'm just writing this because it's related to my previous video. So whether they are colonized or former colonized or being independent, what we do know the fact that the Chinese will say a couple of words. 穷国, poor country. 落后, backwards. The country is going backwards. 没文化, not educated. So, for example, they're not strongly, highly educated, going to university or things like that, or pretty delayed on education, university. And this one, oh gosh, I have to go Google translation. 撕裂战争
历史战争撕裂的国家。
Okay, so history, wartime country, 撕裂国家. So it's a history of wartime country. Those who has a history of wartime country, especially those who fight the independence, they have gone through a lot of wars and or fought for other countries as well. And these are the lists. I don't know much on the history, so you can't imagine with other world. So when they fought for the independence, then you got foreign aid. So they're poor, they want money, they need help. They're like, okay, all these countries they sign up for UN or human rights. They're like, okay, we'll give you money, human rights, globalization is to a way where Western world has ditched all manufacturing jobs and chuck it into whatever country you wanted. Of course, the most advantaged one is China, as you guys know. Then, you've got other small countries as well, big countries as well, around the world. Now, one thing that China do know is that they have a very, very low rate of childbirth, which means the country, the population is aging. So they need to find a way to sustain or try to be on top of the power. Why don't we just the One Belt on Silk Road, which is a historical moment. It did happen in China, historical, where they sent bowl ceramic plates, artifacts, and around across Europe, Middle East to UK. All right. Now back then, when India was colonized, India was one of the superpower back in the days. India was a manufacturing superpower. They had all the jobs and everything. And when the UK decided to realize, shit, only Chinese people, they are so a lot more smart, like a very Eastern philosophy, very Eastern way, very different. It's like a rivalry competitor. Hold on. Look at my country. There's nothing going on. There's no jobs because we chuck all the jobs to India, right? Or former colonized countries. We turned our country into service country. Back then, it wasn't technological. Fuck it, don't worry about it. We shift all the jobs back to UK. India was very, very polluted country, and now it's less polluted. Then it's brought back to the UK. So the UK, this is the beginning phase of the industrial. Why they the first country to enter the industrial revolution? They formed it is because they brought all the jobs back. They have low unemployment rate because they have working house. So those who committed crime or anything or poor, they had to go to a place. So instead of going to jail, they go to this place. You're poor, you have no money, you have to eat, right? So they're called working house. So it's like a place where you work in exchange for accommodation and food, right? So that's what they do. And they work so efficient. They become a superpower, very populated city. The smog of the city is going really crazy. And, they have very smart engineers and somehow they're good at exploring vessels, the Navy, explorer around the world. They are the most successful one. They had the knowledge and everything. And, many countries, South Africa, many islands, Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, Alaska. I can name a bit more, but you can't understand. So the Spanish did pretty good. The Portuguese did really good. The Netherlands did pretty good. Norwegians and Denmark. I'm surprised with Portugal, to be honest with you guys, and that is something I'll talk about. And there was a rivalry talk about this and that. Then I'm not sure, it should be after or before Industrial Revolution. China went through 2 opium wars with the England, the UK, where China is too good on trades. They're very different. They're very different. The English and keep on pouring money. The Chinese always benefit the money. May as well introduce drugs to the country. So the country went decline, drugs and everything. They went to war and this and that. And something got to do with Hong Kong. Don't know what was the Opium War. China lost and occupied Hong Kong for 99 years lease. And something got to do with Macau. So I put Macau and Hong Kong, right? I'll put on this. So you understand everything what I'm jigsaw puzzle. So Macau, don't know what was the history of war torn behind. something got to do with the trades or something like that. They lost, and it has 99-year lease. 1997, Hong Kong was brought, is returned to China. A year following that, which is 1998, Macau went back to China after 99-year lease. So that's a bit of history. It's like a well-known city. Macau is the gambling city, like the Las Vegas. Hong Kong is very popular. Used to be British colonized, but not anymore now. So why am I telling you this? So why I'm telling you this is because the foreign donation money charity, it's a form of welfare. Now, I've read this book. This is a very popular book. It's a lot of technical words that I don't quite understand, but this lady, Dambisa Moyo, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. She explains what has the foreign aid, the dead aid, what has foreign aid and charity donation did to Africa. And she used to work in the Goldman Sachs, and this New York. This is the best book. It tells you everything. It tells you why China is the good friend. Right now, foreign donation. What is the difference between One Belt, One Silk Road compared to foreign donation? I know. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's 11 minutes. I try my best to make it fast. Okay. So foreign donation. Right? Foreign donation, that comes and gives money. If any of these countries says go and visit the country, I need money, they give money. Foreign donation, and it also buys alliance as well. And there's a condition: giving free money. You got to do human rights. That's something I've been taught. Where China, One Belt, One Silk Road, it's China was doing foreign aid with other countries. When they start to realize, the more money you give, it's not really much, because they learned the history from Vietnam. Vietnam, with their dynasty, with the kings and queens, they always borrow money. They always say to China, always want money. And when they want money, and when China doesn't give them money, they don't call them brother. They hate towards to China. But when China gives them money, they say, oh yeah, thank you, big brother, thank you, big brother. And China learned the lesson. So what they did is this time is that, why bother giving foreign aid, buying allowance, where we do One Belt and One Silk Road with a cheap loan, give them money where, they're poor countries, they're backward, they're not educated, war-torn countries. No, none of the Western world wants to invest on, besides South Korea, let's cross it out, right? Or wants to invest in these countries. They have poor rating, poor credit, and very dangerous, or no money in return. Why do we invest money? So what they did is list of continent countries, whether in North America, which can be Canada, it's for anyone to connect the all globe all together. So mainly in Canada or Mexico. Then got South America. The starting point with the Venezuela, having the Ecuador, Peru, Chile around there. Southeast Asia is the main part at the moment. Middle East, because you gotta travel. You gotta train, or to trade you have to travel through, because we want to go back to the Silk Road era. Europe makes sense. Oceania. Okay. So on the news, they may say, they might win some political interference of this and that. That is something I will not talk about, because I'm not familiar in that subject. So I don't want to go political. That's only talking about. They give money, give them loan, especially those who are very poor countries, backwards, not educated. It's like giving them money. And there's a condition. We don't need to fix human rights or things like that. Depending on the country, what they have. For example, countries in like Venezuela or countries in Africa, there's a lot of raw material. China needs raw material. or coal, gas, petroleum, especially in Venezuela, petroleum. So they can either build something in return of raw material. So instead of, we can build you some high-speed rail trains or high-rise skyscraper buildings or stadiums or roads or electricity or everything, or internet or everything, where the Western world wouldn't do it. The Western world just dump down foreign aid, just like welfare, like money charity. But you have to follow me with the human rights. Because if you look at the top, I'll top it now, countries with good human rights. Alright. Let's list the countries, right? I'll show you here. Alright. You see here? Sorry guys, okay. 27 countries. Okay, United Kingdom, 27 countries. I don't know where's that country. Spain, Germany, Estonia, Cyprus, Chile, Austria, Iceland, Belgium, Switzerland, Japan, Ireland, Barbados, I don't know what's that country, Portugal, Denmark, Uruguay. I did not know Uruguay was that. Okay, New Zealand, Luxembourg, Australia, Netherlands, Canada, and Sweden, tie with Norway, Finland. It's worth noting that Australia was ranked, America was ranked 58. Okay, cool. So when you go through that list, the most common theme is Europe or first world countries, rich countries, right? That's the common thing here. But you don't see any of these names. None of them. Okay, so whether they have raw material or an exchange, or if they have nothing in the country, it's all right. We just buy you, and probably, if you don't pay back the money, we do 99 years lease on building or occupy certain land or certain city or certain ports or things like that. That's right. If you can't pay it back, they know that you can't pay it back, right? Poor countries, they get the money, they can't pay it back. That's all right. We'll give you a 99 lease. So whether they build, well, I know the media is saying they're building military base or ports or planes or aircraft or airports or or whatever it is that it's gained, or tourism. Right now the most heavy one is Cambodia with tourism. I know my auntie told me how much is Chinese been investing. Vietnam will be tourism as well. So it's a lot thing going on, but this is coming from first-handed from my auntie. This is not coming bullshit out of my mouth, all right? And the Philippines just switched power. Instead of fighting for this with the island dispute, they were US. Now they switched to with China. So very interesting about Philippines. Very, very interesting actually. They got Indonesia. So one the good thing about it is to build trade and everything, because the most common thing about all these countries besides South Korea is they have high birth rates, and as well they have more young population. That's the main key. So bring well, because China is aging, because not much people are popping kids. So they need to find a way to build the power to remain superpower or trade power, right? So whether they pour money in North America, South America, Southeast Australia, Asia or Middle East, Europe or Oceania continent or countries, it benefits them. Whether they can do trade a lot quicker or efficient with something that they never had before. And whether it brings money in or money out, that is something I cannot speak about, because that is more of it is. So you understand why the 99-year lease. Those who are former colonized or World War II, World War III, it was blood war. what China is doing now is money war. We're not killing people, we're just using money. It's a gateway, pretty much. So there you go. Explain this in 20 minutes. Let us understand. Cool. No hate, no nothing, just sharing a bit of insight, those who does not know. So yeah. And one thing that China's trying to promote, 国是家, so it means country is home. If you don't have a country, you don't have a home. So it's building up all this country up. Now, I'm not going to get into pros and cons because I'm not expert in that area. But that's the vision of the whole thing. All right? Because I'm not going to get into that stage. Because I find it's giving this third world country, these poor countries backward, not educated poor countries or war-torn country, a chance to enter, to have a slice of globalization of trades, to enter the market, which they never had before. So we have all this is buying alliance, use money buying alliance. That's why it says money war. It's not blood war. Blood war, then is a fight for independence. It's foreign donation. The Western civilization, the Western world is weakened. There's not much money because they're servicing countries. There's no manufacturers. It's just technology. But right now, there's technology race between China and Australia and US. Therefore, there's a trade war. And the next video, I need to understand about 2025 about China. Anywho, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If not, then I'll try my best.